Welcome to Kris Greenhill's Garage. What are we doing today, the boy?
We're painting Piece of Stang.
We're painting Piece of Stang. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Join us as we eliminate the beautiful, amazing, gorgeous patina that is Project Piece of Stang. It's so incredible. It's so recognizable, and we're just going to ruin it with paint, aren't we? The boy wants to paint the car, so we're going to paint the car. So come along with us as we do a $100 paint job on the top end. Yeah, we put a little less than $100 into this, and we have our materials, so we're going to get to work. Before we begin, let me reiterate again what a cheap, low-budget driveway paint job this is going to be. Kris Jr. is going to do the sanding, the stripping. He's going to do whatever body work. We're hoping to weld some stuff, any fiberglass work, Bondo, whatever that needs to be done. He's going to do it. This is going to be a $100 paint job with paint, primer, Bondo, fiberglass, whatever, on the top end. All right, quick driveway job. If you're looking for a professional paint job, you're in the wrong place. We don't do anything professionally. Our neighbor, Kelly Standifer, and his son Chandler and his wife Nicole have offered to paint the car. So Junior's going to do the body work. We're going to run it down to the Standifer house. They are going to paint this thing for us. And then we're going to, that's it. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. It might be 10 minutes. It might be 10 hours. Who knows? We're just going to film as we can. And keep in mind, once again, we don't have a camera crew like real YouTubers. We don't have people to record for us. And we're recording. That means one hand is busy, the other hand is working. So I'm sure this is going to skip around and there's going to be gaps, and it is what it is. Let's get started.
Taking the trim off the back fender and big old rust hole. Gonna have to patch that up.
I just woke up for the day, and Kris Jr. is sanding Project Piece of Stang in preparation for our upcoming paint job. Kris Jr. is just roughing up the paint a little, not doing anything horribly major. There's a lot of good paint and primer to use as primer on this car, but he's just hitting the really rough spots. These will have to be fixed, obviously. Here's all our old molding that's come off the car that we're going to try to recondition and get back on the car. This door seal has me more worried than anything. I think somebody has rebuilt this out of Bondo, because this should not be separating like this. We're going to try to weld this. Oh yeah, that's a lot of Bondo. Dang it. I'm not sure we're going to be able to rebuild this. There's nothing to weld to, it doesn't seem right here. You're not going to be able to weld this. I can actually see the original metal here. This has been caked up with Bondo. Pretty sure this has been reconstructed with Bondo, or some kind of fiberglass, if not Bondo. But I don't think we have any choice but to just try to fill that in and just make it look halfway decent for now. Junior's about to pull these panels, these cell panels, so we can get a look, my first look under there. This is not encouraging. We've always known about this fender. It's obvious. It's really hard to tell what's going on here. I think someone's already tried to reconstruct this with fiberglass. Some of this feels like metal. Some of it doesn't. That doesn't. That does. Somebody just glued a piece of trim over this, knowing that was here, and tried to stick a bunch of Bondo in it. It was sticking in the trunk. We are going to try to weld this and put replacement metal in here if we can, but before that, tomorrow we're going to have to square cut this. We're going to have to cut all the rod out of this. I've been at work a lot, so I didn't get any before pictures, but this entire fender was scaled like this, chipping and cracking paint. We were worried there's a bunch of Bondo in this fender, but there's not. It's just old chipping rotted, flaking paint, so that's good. Junior's in the middle of doing this door. It's yet to be determined how much of this door is metal and how much of it's been reconstructed. We're gonna have to figure out something to do about this lower rocker panel below the door. Not really sure what to do there. We might just put a cheap, dirty patch weld on it because you can't even see it unless you lay under the car. And hopefully tomorrow I'll find some kind of way to weld this back together, this window frame. I've never taken an attempt at it. A buddy of mine did. It didn't really stick very long. And then I went in here and put this bracket in. So I'm gonna see what I can do to make this window frame more permanent tomorrow. Got a couple little things, got a little dent there. It doesn't show up right now very much, but it will when it's gloss black. Had this little dimple in the hood we've tried to hammer and dolly out. I'm afraid that's gonna be really prevalent when this is gloss black also. All right, we got our little sail panels off here. A few of the studs broke off. I'm not really worried about it. We'll fix that later. A bunch of these things are kind of stripped out. We'll get new nuts, but it's actually not very bad under here. There's light surface rust, nothing that can't be cleaned up. There's no rot, and that's what's important. Here's the passenger side, same thing. A little surface rust, no rot. Junior's been sanding this passenger door a little more. We've got some pitting and some rust here. There might be some Bondo in here. We're not 100% sure. It's hard to tell. Come up here. We were really worried about a lot of this, but this smoothed out. I think that's just multiple layers of paint stacked on top of each other. You got to pull the mirror to get under here to figure out whether that's just layers of paint or whether it's rust or Bondo. Junior's done working for the day. It's almost dark. He's gonna go get some body fill and a couple other things at O'Reilly's. Didn't quite get to this, but most everything else came along pretty well. Pretty much ready for paint. This is pitted. We're gonna have to use some feather fill or something to fill that in. But for the most part, everything now is gonna be actual body work. And we'll get on that tomorrow. And the next day, I've got to go to work now. Sadly, our nice rain-free day has turned rainy. So we are not going to get any work done on the car today. Here's Junior getting some welding practice on a rainy day. Here's Kris Jr.'s prep work for welding the side of Piece of Stang. Been working on practicing some thin gauge metal and thin gauge metal to thicker metal, and then thicker metal to thicker metal. Doing a pretty good job. Hey, good job, Kris.
Thanks.
It's a few hours later. We've got about 30 minutes till dark. The rain is cleared. We are going to try to at least cut this out and prep this spot to try to fix it tomorrow. I've redrawn the cutting line, made it a little more square to get all the rod out. Kris is going to come out here and cut this thing. All right, and there's all our rot removed. Everything around here is good, clean metal. All we have to do is grind this a little bit and grind the inside, and we're going to start making replacement patch panels out of for this. Here's our patch panel. I just marked it to follow the body lines of the old piece of crap, the rot that we cut out, and just kind of hand bent it and then use the vise a little bit, and that'll be our patch panel here in a little while. Here's the backing panel we're going to weld this bigger panel on the inside of the car, and then we're going to try to patch weld this, plug weld this in after we cut it down to be the exact same shape as the missing metal. Junior's about to grind the inside of the opening, so we have good smooth metal to weld to tomorrow, and we'll get to welding tomorrow. Go ahead, buddy. Here's our backing panel. We're going to weld in here. Pretty good. Use this magnet, stick it on here to hold it in place, and Junior is going to tack that into place from the inside, and there's a look at it from in here. Here's that patch panel welded into place, our back supporting panel, and we're out of daylight. Tomorrow we're gonna take the actual patch panel and we're gonna take it and grind it, cut it to perfect size, lay it in here, and we're just gonna tack weld it in all around. It's the next morning and Junior's gonna finish welding this thing in place. We kind of ran out of light yesterday. We got it tacked in, but he's gonna finish installing it. Here's that panel, final welded in, supporting panel. Got our magnet stuck on the inside, which we just tested is gonna hold the outside panel in place from the inside, like so. Junior's gonna grind down all the paint on the outside so we can start welding on the outside. Here's our outside patch panel sitting in there, magnetized. Junior's gonna start going around and tacking it in and filling in a couple of the little gaps. Here's the finished weld. Junior's finished tacking it all in everywhere. And he's gonna go through and grind this smooth, and we'll see what it looks like after that. Here it is after a little bit of grinding. A few little pinholes that'll need filled in and reground, but not bad. Well, our grinder died. We were building this up and filling in some pinholes and grinding it down, and the grinder's dead. So we don't have any way to grind this down, but anyway, we have our shape, we have our channel here. There are a couple little spots. We're gonna have to end up filling those in with Bondo, but we at least have metal under here now. Unlike over here where all of this is Bondo, at least from here forward, this is all Bondo. Oh my God, what a nightmare. Kris was just using the spinning wheel, not even the grinder, just a spinning brush trying to clean this up. And he discovered that this entire fender is all built up Bondo. So that's not good. To keep this Bondo from cracking and separating any further, put a flathead screw through here, a flathead bolt with a little nut on the back, pinch this together as tight as I can. And now hopefully that'll keep it from separating. Now we can add some Bondo in here, fill all this in. While I was busy working on the Jeep, Christopher came over here. Ooh, everything's hot. Welded a little bracket onto the door where our door was broken. Did not slam it hard enough. But anyway, it works. It closes. There we go. He's going to grind that down smooth, make it look a little better. Then he's going to come in here on the inside and reinforce this some more. Check this out. Man. Open the door, buddy, from the inside. Door handle's broken. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is rock solid. Yes. Check that out. Good job, Christopher. Hey, good job, son. You're doing excellent work.
Thank you.
Junior ground down this rough spot in the fender for the first time. And it is all metal. That's good. There's no Bondo. Kris came and sanded a lot of this. Still got a little more to go. There's still this bumper's pretty rough. The old paint is peeling. It looks like somebody just spray painted over the bumper at some point. But it's coming along. Junior's getting through all that paint scale we had up here, all the multiple layers of dried on paint, cutting through it. He got up here, loosened this mirror and ground under there. So it's just about ready for paint. And we're just about out of daylight, so that's just about it for the day. I've been away at work, just came home, and Junior took the spoiler off the 82 for the first time in a very long time, and it's probably the best paint in the entire car. That's pretty cool. Never seen it without the spoiler. Doesn't look bad, but I love the 82 spoilers. They're probably the best that have ever been made. Kris also came out here and took all the rough scale off the front bumper. And I think the car is truly ready for paint now, finally. Kris has come out here and applied body filler to our two worst spots over here on the driver's side. He's gonna wait for them to dry, then he's gonna sand and try to mold them into shape and make it Mustang shaped again. Put some body filler in this really bad pitting area we had here. Today is supposed to be painting day. I don't think that's gonna happen. It's been raining on and off. It's a cold, wet morning. This is probably gonna have to wait another week or two until we get a chance to paint it, unfortunately. We just discovered this corner up here is mostly Bondo. Tried to grind a hole here and there's already Bondo here. Good times. And here we go, taking it to go get paint down the street. They've got a little bit more body work to do on it, but they're gonna finish that up while I work on something else and then go to work. Here's the car, mostly taped off, just about ready for primer.
We're getting it painted right now and it's looking good so far. We've got all the little accessory pieces, like the spoiler, painted too to match. Here's the car, done painting for the day. It's looking pretty good, still sounds good.
I'm just now getting back from work after the car was painted. Here's a quick kind of little glimpse. Oh man, this is not good. Just painted and all the humidity in the air, everything is soaking wet. But here's a quick little glimpse of what it looks like, a little preview. Kris and his friends and our neighbor painted it while I was at work, and I hadn't gotten to see it. There are going to be some runs and some issues that'll be taken care of, but it's better than it was. Here's our first look at the Mustang. Unfortunately, we don't have much sunlight. It's not bright out here. It's a dull, dreary, rainy, cold day. I got some runs. I'll have to deal with that later. It's a solid 10-footer. Unfortunately, black really brings out the waves, like this Bondo work here in this fender. Those are just dents that we just couldn't get to come out. The dimples in this door, that's just a run. That's not actually body work. This is some body work. Yeah, some dings we didn't even know existed. A whole bunch of little hail dings we didn't know existed. Some of this is just something is rubbed on this since it got painted. We'll have to go through and clean this up just a little bit. Here's more of our body work. This is our welding. I expected that to be kind of ugly. This is Bondo work. More Bondo work. Stupid cats. Ugh. Cat footprints. That probably needed some Bondo work. This old plastic didn't hold paint very well. Hood came out better than I expected. We were able to pull that dent. Well, the dent is still there, but it's smoother than I thought it was. You can't really see it. You can only feel it. The hood scoop, which will be bright white at some point, for now is just white primer. It's not actual paint. Fortunately, it dropped more than 30 degrees overnight, so this paint didn't really have much chance to settle and cure. Hopefully it holds up for a little while. It has taught us a whole lot about body work and paint, and that's really important. It looks better than it did. It's a good quality 10, 20 footer. I'll be honest, I'm gonna miss the old patina look. Took a very soft little hand towel and gently wiped the cat prints and the fingerprints off of stuff. To be very, very gentle with paint like this when it's curing, especially without any heat to really help it set. Happy with it, Kris? Does it look better?
It does, yeah.
Ugh, patina is king, the boy. Now it's just black and boring. It used to be recognizable. Now it's just another black Mustang. But we're gonna fix that too, aren't we? We've got more coming. There is more painting to be done as soon as it warms back up in a few weeks. It's a few days later. The weather has turned, but regardless, I need to take the hood scoop off and at least one sail panel off and go get new studs so that these things will actually mount and be secure. I'm going to leave the sail panel off, and I'm going to put a tarp over the air cleaner when I take this off. I got the sail panels off, and I went ahead and pulled the studs, the broken studs that are off. There are two broken ones on each side. Unfortunately, the holes where the broken studs are kind of rusty, so we're gonna have to fill those in. I have to paint those a little bit when it's dry, but I've got the broken studs off, and I'm gonna take them down to the hardware store. I'm gonna get new nuts for them. These, I need to try to find a way to glue them back on the sail panel in order for them to stick. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there, but I gotta try to get them to stick back on. One of them, fortunately, wasn't actually broken. It just stripped out. This one up here is broken. I think it's this one. Yeah, I gotta find a way to glue that back on once I pull the stud out. I'm gonna go ahead and get new nuts and washers for these. Oh, and there was a wreck right up the street here I had to go deal with. Okay, the hood scoop is off the car. These studs stripped out of here, mostly because the nuts that were on these things were essentially rusted to them. I'm not gonna mess with the studs that are still threaded real well. I'm gonna see if I can get new studs, or I'm gonna get some glue to put in here. I'm gonna get new nuts for this, some good hardware, and hopefully we won't have this issue anymore. After much delay, I'm back from the hardware store. I could not find any stud replacements for these things. Only two of them are stripped. So what I did is I'm gonna put the studs back in these, and I got some plastic weld. I'm gonna weld the studs back in the stripped out holes, plastic weld them in. I got new nuts, got new washers to hold this thing on. So that's ready to go. They also did not make any kind of replacement studs for the sail panels. They also do not make these washers like this washer and nut combo in 8/32 or 8x32. So I gotta hope we have enough of these still somewhere in the car to use them. I'm gonna plastic weld these broken studs back onto the sail panels also. I had hoped to have time today to not only plastic weld all the broken pieces, but I wanted to tape everything off for our paint job because we got a very interesting paint job coming, but that is not in the cards for today. The weather tomorrow says it's supposed to be cold but dry. At least I can get this taped off and be ready to paint, and then the day after we can come out here and paint. Brought all the exterior trim pieces in. They're all kind of warped and twisted and curled and jacked up. We're gonna lie things on top of these, try to flatten them out as much as we can. I think 2x4s. I think I'm gonna lay 2x4s across them. Maybe add some additional weight, try to straighten these out. And then I'm gonna see if we can like 3M tape them back on once we clean them up. So, but I'm not really sure how we're gonna reattach the trim. But this stuff is super expensive. And this is the original, and we have all the pieces. So So I'd really like it to go back on the car. It's the next morning. I'm taking things apart for the final part of the paint job, and yeah, this trim piece never got taken off before the paint job, so I need to vacuum that out and get ready to paint it. Man, there's decades of dirt built up under this trim. Oof, it's gross. Can't believe it. I'm out here working on the car and a package just arrived. 2 weeks late. I've already reported it as missing and non-delivered, and the guy just pulled up and goes, "Here's your package." Unreal. I'm having trouble getting these trim pieces out. They feel like they're going to break, so we're probably just going to leave these on and paint these on the car. Leave them alone. We have Junior come in here and paint all this trim that it accidentally got taped off instead of painted over. We're just going to go ahead and make all of this black. I have some plastic welding to do. I'm not sure what happened to our cowl, but I got to put a couple studs back in these, or this hood scoop back in the sail panels, and fix this. I could not get this hood cowl to join back together no matter how long I held it together. It just kept pulling itself apart. So I'm just filling the gap with plastic weld. I'm just going to let it dry and then paint over it. Things are going well on the hood scoop. These two things are essentially dry and set, so that's ready to go back on the car. I got 2 of the 3 broken studs plastic welded back onto the sail panel of that one and that one. I am missing this one. I lost it. It's somewhere in the black car, but I can't find it to save my life. But I got those 2 setting. All this plastic weld says it needs an hour to cure completely, so I'm going to go do other things. A few of the bolt holes under these sail panels were left open, left exposed where the broken studs were still in them, so I just went ahead and hit them with a quick shot of spray paint on both sides. Paint is not wanting to stick in this weather, which is not good. I have the same situation on the hood. I'm going to hit a couple of those spots just to keep them from being bare metal. One thing I wanted to experiment with before I have Kris Jr. invest a lot of time into it is I'm using a spray can, spraying onto this little foam paintbrush, and then applying to our trim here. It's not perfect, but look at that. And look at that. I mean, it's not beautiful, it's not perfect, it's not an auto body shop job, but that is much closer to the car now than that. So I'm going to say it's a success. And I'm going to have Junior come out here and do all of this trim and paint all of this stuff up using this method to kind of finish off the car. Came in here and hit a quick spritz on this stuff right here that's visible when the hood closes, because we have an 82 hood with an 83.5, 84 bumper. So that kind of dips. So I just wanted to spray that where you didn't have to see it. You didn't have to see old plastic when the hood was closed. Got the rear spoiler back off, and I'm going to hit a couple of these open bolt holes where the spoiler mounted. Just give them a couple of taps of paint just to clean them up a little bit. I have the lines of the hood taped off. I hit this back little piece of trim down here, blacked it up, and I've got the lid, the trunk lid, all taped off. I have the rear deck taped off. I've taped the deck and the spoiler over the deck. My measurements say this is straight and accurate. My brain tells me it's crooked, and I don't know why. Hopefully it's just because I'm standing on uneven ground. The tape measure says that's where it needs to be. Came over here and scraped most of the gasket seal off this trim where this thing is rattling and shaking and vibrating and driving us crazy. After the paint's done and everything, we'll probably get some clear gasket seal, come in here and do this, because this trim's expensive. I don't think I'm going to be buying any new trim anytime soon. Did just a little bit more taping, remeasured all this. I'm going to tape up this trim. Just the deck is going to be white, just like over here, white trash. The trim is white. The stripe starts on the actual deck and ends on the actual deck lid. We're doing the exact same thing over here. This part of white trash is not as in depth. I'm not sure exactly how extreme Kris wants to take all this, but I'm taping everything up. I don't know if he wants to go all the way to the windshield with the white stripe, or if he's going to leave it on the hood, or what he's going to do. I got the sail panels back on both sides, making sure to only use about half of an Ugga Dugga to tighten these down. This cowling dried nice and strong. I mean, it looks kind of ugly from underneath, but no one's really going to notice it. The important thing is it is back together into one solid piece. That plastic weld works pretty well. So that is all the taping. I'm completely done with the taping now. All of this is going to be white. Probably even lift this up and do some white around here so there's no edge showing. I taped this off. I don't know if Kris is going to leave this black or if he wants to take the white theme all the way up to the windshield, but I taped it off either way. And I think we're ready for tomorrow now. I think that's about it. I'm done for the day, but I haven't personally heard this thing run in weeks. All right, fired right up, even in this cold weather. Hey, stop it. There we go. This is going to be its own other whole different video, but about interior restoration. But Junior went to roll the window up the other day, and this cheap plastic window crank snapped. So I ordered these aluminum ones, and they just got here. So I'm going to try to put them on. They don't really go with the old 80s vibe, but whatever. Let's see if I can get them to work. Well, the broken window crank is replaced. This universal window crank is pretty cheap and flimsy, but it technically works. The window's kind of sticky, but it's barely competent. It's already coming loose. It's already about to pop off. It'll just have to do for now. We'll have to do something else later. It's the next day. You ready to paint, boy? Got some tarps laid down so we can paint the hood and the trunk with them closed and not spray the back of the car and the front of the car. Unfortunately, it's a little bit colder than the weather report said it was going to be. It is going to warm up, but not for a few hours, but we need to get started for the day. Not a lot we can do about that. Hopefully we'll have some direct sunlight here soon, and it'll be warm enough to dry the paint for us. We've got some actual direct sunlight in the back of the car, so we're going to start in the back of the car and do these, and then we'll move to the front once there's some direct sunlight over there. We had to do some extra masking. Despite it being completely windless and calm, we are having some overspray issues. Yes, we are using spray cans. Hold on, go ahead and stop, Kris. That thing is shooting wads everywhere for some reason. Let's check that out. All right, we had to clean up the nozzle a little bit. Junior's gonna keep laying a base coat. We'll let that dry and we'll come back and we'll hit our next coat. And yes, we are using spray cans. It's just simpler and easier than getting the paint gun out and mixing paint. If you hadn't caught on yet, this is a pretty cheap paint job. We'll come back and put a couple of coats on, a couple of layers, smoothing things out. We are doing a mirror mimic to white trash, except we're not going to do the pinstripe. The pinstripe is, we just didn't feel like doing it, and then the curvature of the hood wasn't going to lend to a good pinstripe. The hood of the white trash is a lot more round. This one's a lot more square. So we just decided to skip the pinstripe on this car. It has warmed up more than 20 degrees in the last hour or so. We've got some good direct sunlight on this. It's drying really well. Junior is going through and finishing off our trim while we wait for this to dry. And we're gonna wait for a little bit more sunlight before we try to do this. Junior got this side of the trim done. We'll have to razor blade the glass a little for a little run, but that was actually me. He actually did this essentially seamlessly. So at least it's black now. We don't have that nasty, dirty, pitted chrome just sticking out everywhere. Half rust and half polished. We're borrowing the trunk lid of Marshmallow to put a tack coat of paint on the spoiler, and we're going to go back to doing the rear deck lid. Deck lid's drying really well. We're about to put another coat on it, and then because of the angle of the sun, I think we may flip the car around and just put the hood in the sun and put a coat on it, and then just turn the car back and forth, because it's going to take hours for the sun to come out in the whole driveway. It went from sweatpants weather to shorts and t-shirt weather in less than an hour. We've got the car turned around now, and Junior's going to start applying our first coat of white to the hood and the air scoop. Go ahead. A section on the back of the spoiler where as soon as the white paint hit it, the black paint that was under it wasn't adhered properly, and it just started peeling up. So we're gonna have to let that dry. Probably gonna have to scrape some of that old paint off and repaint that whole section. It's a little extreme. Yeah, I had to scrape that entire section. I'm gonna try to put another light coat on it, let it dry, and then go from there. It's a while later. Kris Jr. is setting another coat of paint on the rear deck lid. I've had to wait for this to dry, come in here with some sandpaper, rough it back up, smooth it back down, and hopefully I can get some paint to stick to it now. All right, there's one more coat on, or one coat on. There are a couple of little rough edges where the dried paint was, and then you can see where I kind of sanded it down. I'll even that up with another coat in a little while, but that is 1,000 times better than it was. That's actually, you can bolt that on and you'd barely notice that was there. Well, I had a small blunder. One of the paint cans that I bought was actually dull white. And we were spraying it on, we're like, why is the white paint losing its sheen so much? Why is it so dull? Yeah, that was my fault. I just got one of the cans and it was dull white, so we used that as a base coat, got some more gloss white and covered it back up. We have a tiny bit of peeling back here on the back trunk lid with the spoilers going over it, so I may rough that up a little, put another little coat on it, but we're not going to see it because the spoiler is going to go over it. Here's the back section of the spoiler. It's not perfect, it's not beautiful, it's coming along. I'm probably just going to put another coat on it and call it good, and just, it'll have to be a 10-footer. The whole car is in direct sunlight now. Everything's drying very well. Boy, you want to see the hardest part of a paint job?
What?
Figuring out exactly when to remove the painter's tape. Remove it too soon, it'll run under. Leave it too long, it'll peel and chip the edges. It is an art form, and I'm not much of an artist. Junior has several coats on. I think we're going to try to start peeling the tape, see how it looks. You stupid piece of crap. God, I hate bugs. Jeez, we're removing the trash bags, and we still have a bunch of overspray on this thing. The wind shifted and went under the trash bags and stuff. Good grief. The roof caught quite a bit of overspray also. We've been wiping it off as we go, but at this point the whole car needs cleaned. That's quite a bit of overspray. Look at that over there. Good grief, that's where some tape was. Ton of overspray. Here we go. Yep, peel it away. Slowly, real slowly. Oh man, we got a tiny little black chip right there where the tape took it off. Nice and slow and even. Peeling the back deck. There's the front of the car. We are gonna have to wait for the plastic cowl pieces to dry a little bit more. I taped underneath them and around them and wrapped the tape around. So they've got to be completely dry to lift them up in order to peel the tape off. Took the air scoop off to get the painter's tape out from under it. And we're about to put it back and bolt it down. There's the front end. We're almost there. It's spoiler time. Time to take the tape off and see what it looks like. Here's Junior taking the tape off the spoiler. Here is the trunk lid. All right, looking pretty good. Here is the car as a whole. I think we are going to run it down to the lake and do like a little photo shoot and get some nice scenery pictures of it. Love to get it right next to white trash, but white trash is sort of out of gas. Future Kris here. The car's already done. We are done for the day, the week, whatever. The trim is going to be its own project someday. We're going to have to clean this up, strip it, straighten it, paint it, and I guess 3M tape it on. We're going to probably make a day of that, but that will not be in this video. It's a week since we painted the stripe on the car. It's my first time in the car. We're going to go on a little cruise, get some gas for white trash. New paint job definitely turned some heads and draw some attention. We're back wearing the same exact stuff. We teleported to the future from the beginning of this video. We totally didn't forget to record an intro and then record the intro like 30 seconds ago. We did not do that. Teleported to the future from the outro. And now the car is done. Are you happy, Kris?
I am very happy.
Very happy. Hey, remember, $100 paint job in 2 sets of driveways done by 2 people of, we'll leave it at we are not trained paint and body people, are we? Keep that in mind. But this young man needs all the credit in the world for his fiberglass work, his cutting, his welding, all the stuff he did to this car. You know, the work he's doing on this thing is going to make this last another 40 years. You know, when he's middle-aged, he might have to restore it again. But, you know, I mean, we've gotten rid of the rot in the car, except the tiniest little bit. And we can fix that as we go. One of these days, I do want to go back to the fender over here. I do want to sand it. I do want to cut it. I do want to shape our own fender with metal if we get a chance someday. But we didn't have the time. You know, I'm working 28 days a month this time of year. He's got school, he's got finals, we've got things to do. But one of these days, we'll go back and we'll do some things better. We might sand an area and refix it, refiberglass it, you know, make it prettier as we go. But we went from patina with plenty of rust and rot and a hole in the fender and holes in the side to a good 10-footer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're not within 10 feet, this thing looks amazing. If you get within 10 feet, you can nitpick it, but who cares? You know, most of the people nitpicking this don't have a car this cool. Now, if we just get it to go down the road at night without the headlights killing the electrical system, whole nother thing we haven't even gotten into yet. The reason this thing's been parked so long to do all this body work is, yeah, you can run the engine, the ignition, the headlights, or the defroster blower motor. You can pick one of the 3. Any 2, a whole other thing I want to get to again here soon. It may or may not be my generic wiring. Right now, Junior's only able to drive this majestic beast during the day because the headlights will kill it. We're going to tackle that here soon. Probably a new alternator, probably all new LED headlights and taillights, new wiring, whatever we got to do to keep the electrical system alive. And then the interior restoration begins. Some of you may not even know this car used to be a full interior car. We made the mistake to pull it out for one day, and then we discovered the rot in the floors, and it's over a year ago. We've been working on this thing, but we're getting it together. But here soon, we're going to do window trim. We're going to do interior door panels. We're going to start painting the inside, water sealing it, sound deadener, interior, the whole works. That'll come someday down the line. But that's it. We're done, and we're happy. This is a victory, right?
Huzzah!
Huzzah! All right. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it.